Greetings, I'm Rob Chapman and welcome to this wondrous and intriguing and interesting video all about gravity picks. I realised today that I haven't actually made a video about gravity picks, and that's kind of unusual for me because I've been using gravity picks for quite a number of years already and I find them rather wonderful. So let me explain. Just checking B-cam's on, so I'm feeling good. I was given a gravity pick a couple of years back. And actually, you know what? I think I was given it and I didn't even try it, which was folly. And I was cleaning up my flat when I lived on a flat by the sea about 6 months ago. And I basically was clearing up, putting all my picks in a box. I've got this one box full of all the picks that everybody gives me, all the trade shows and all the events and all the tours, you know, when people go, have you tried this pick? And I go, no. And I'm excited because for some reason I'm geeky enough to find plectrums really exciting. And I've got a massive collection of them. And I've got every kind of plastic you can imagine, from nylon, Delrin, just the different plastics. And then I've got all the, you know, for example, the stone plectrums, the wood plectrums, some metal picks. I used to use stainless steel picks for years. Because my guitar teacher, David Kilminster, hey Dave, if you're ever watching, he used a stainless steel pick when I was his student at the Guitar Institute years and years ago, and he had just the best picking technique ever. I mean, it was ridiculous. And so I used a steel pick. Anyway, I'm digressing gratuitously. I tried this gravity pick one day that I just left in my collection of picks when I just found it and needed a pick. And I was just absolutely blown away. And you don't understand, guys. I've been looking for the pick that would be my pick for such a long time. I had fluxed between using celluloid 1.5 picks. I'd been using all sorts of different brands, different materials, and I'd never found the right kind of sort of stiffness. Basically, plastics have different qualities that make them a great pick. Things like release and memory. I got really into this. So memory is how much it retains the original shape it's cast in or set to. So if you play it for hours, down picking, is it going to bend and stay bent? That's memory. Release is if it flexes, how quickly does it flex back to the memory point? And because I was so used to using stainless steel picks but destroying my strings, which was a real issue back then because I couldn't afford them, strings were expensive, yeah. I wanted something that was rigid like a steel pick, that didn't really wear down like a steel pick, so that it had this continued shape, so my body would get used to it. But that wasn't made of metal, so it wouldn't ruin the strings. Anyway, this gravity pick turned out to be exactly what I was after, and the playing felt great, the grip and the fingers felt awesome. So I did a very different kind of a deal for me. Now, I'm a businessman and a musician, and that's quite a rarity in this day and age. Most aspiring musicians forget that it's a business, and if you want to survive and have bread and eat and a family, you need to make some money to pay for rent and bills and things. And in my opinion, do way too many things for free. Take a note of that. But I made the decision with my endorsement with Gravity that I wouldn't take a single penny, and instead I would take picks, because I knew I would lose them like that, and I'd also give them away at gigs. And whenever I meet somebody in the street, if you've met me on the street, I've probably given you a pick. Because I think it's a really cool thing to do. And you know what? Joe Satriani did that with me when he met me, and he's my hero. He's my hero. So it was a nice thing. Anyway, I'm just thinking about Joe now. Joe. So I thought, you know what? Rather than taking any money, I'll just take picks. And I've got thousands of them now, and it's great. and I could bathe in them, which probably is something that you wouldn't want to see on YouTube. If you do, please like up the comment that says that. And I couldn't be happier, and I bought out a signature plectrum. So you can see it's really mega pointy, which I find so valuable on a plectrum, and something that I learnt from Sammy Colson, hey Sammy, who I think taught it to Steve Vai, and probably someone taught it to Sam, is that if you got the old celluloid picks, and then on a carpet did this on one side and then flipped it over and did it the other side, you got a sharper point. But then of course, because it was so sharp, it would wear down on a celluloid pick, whereas these don't wear down. I mean, I've had one for ages, the original pick, and it just doesn't seem to wear down. I am quite a light-handed picker, but still, the material is rock solid, baby, and that's why it's great. It grips in the fingers, especially when you warm up. Something about the material, I don't know what it is really, even through sweat. I don't think I've ever dropped one live. Maybe I have. I don't recall it ever happening, so probably it hasn't happened. I certainly throw a lot of them in the audience. And I love the fact that the edges can either be sort of rough or smooth. They're all handmade. Every single one is handmade. I met the guy that makes them. He's a nice man. And Chris, who runs Gravity, is a super nice dude. And they're really into what they do. And I love that. They're a little bit more expensive, well, quite a lot more expensive than your average plectrum, but then they last a lot longer, and in my opinion, they're better. So again, it's one of those personal taste situations. Which pick is better? Who the cares? And, you know, which strings are better? Who knows? I know. For me, it's Diodaria MYXL, and for me, it's Gravity picks. But for everybody else, it's a different thing. But anyway, if you haven't tried Gravity picks, I would deplore you. Give them a try. I challenge you. See if you enjoy them. You might not, and that's totally cool. But if you do, you might find that they're really awesome. And to that end, I have something rather exciting I'd like to show you. So this is a selection box of every Gravity pick they make, or at least a lot of them. And I always thought these were really, really, really cool. Just basically, I like the idea of there being a box of picks. It's quite a hardcore box too. I think it would definitely survive a road trip, and it would look sick on top of an amp stack on tour. So I got given this by Gravity to say thank you to me for sort of helping them out and being involved and all that kind of stuff. But you know what? I have thousands and thousands of plectrums, and I am kitted up for Gravity for a long time. So I'm going to give this away, and I think this will be a really cool gift for somebody out there who doesn't have 30 plectrums. So this Gravity pick selection box would retail for bing, and I think would make a really nice gift or present or prize, and I'm really excited to see who wins, and I'm really looking forward to seeing the entries to this competition, which I think will be a lot of fun. To that end, here is the competition. I have written a riff. I literally wrote this about 10 minutes ago before I put the cameras on, because I'm releasing a solo album towards the end of the year and coming up with cool riff ideas and things that I can incorporate into the album. So I came up with a riff that used a lot of hammer-ons and pull-offs and was based in E. And let me teach you the riff, and then all I want you to do is play the riff, make a video, and post it on my Facebook page. And the person that best performs this riff, in my opinion, in a musical fashion, will win the box, and I'll send it anywhere in the world. I don't care where you live. But here's the catch. Talking of Joe Satriani, when I was a young boy, I first found Joe through watching a live show that Joe played at, Steve played at. It was really, really cool, in Spain. And I was mesmerised by the tune Satch Boogie. To me, it was the best thing I'd ever heard in my entire life. And I think it was a pivotal point in my playing and the development of my technique. I keep playing with these plectrums. And what it was that I listened to Satch Boogie. The internet didn't really exist. I couldn't afford a tablature book. And so I spent hours using my ears and a bit of paper and a pen. And I didn't even know how to write tablature at the time, to try and work out how he was playing this riff. And it must have taken me about a week solid until I got to an approximation of what I felt it was. But what I'd unbeknownstly done was worked my ears to the point that then I understood lots of other things I was hearing, and it really boosted me. So what I'd like to do in this competition is, rather than teach you the riff note by note or give you tablature, I'm just going to play it to you slowly and then fast, and I want you to learn it by ear. Do yourself a giant favour, work them ears. So here's the riff. One last thing, please go and like the Gravity Picks Facebook page and also my page, which you'll find in the description below. In fact, all of the information you need is in the description box below this video. Good luck, have loads of fun, and I've been Rob Chapman from Door J and Chapman Guitars. Take it easy. Chappers out.